All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, 9/11/2012. All right, let's just move on quickly. We're running behind here, so we'll get right to the results. We had just a couple of trades this morning in the live trading room. We are up 5 ticks on gold. That's how we ended the morning. Everything else is flat. Up 5 ticks on gold. I will show you all those trades in just a moment. Before I go any further, let me remind everyone, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to www.cfrn, that's CF like Frank, RN like Nancy, .net/apply. And you can sign up for the free trial there. With the free trial, we do not get any credit card information or anything like that. All we need is your name and your email address, and you get 5 days in our live trading room, 2 hours per day, to watch us place trades, talk about trades, talk about setups, talk about our indicators, answer all your questions, hopefully help you to get on the right track and making money trading futures. All right, we trade the ES, the NQ, the YM, gold, crude, the 6E, the Russell, whatever you want to look at, we are willing to take a look at. All right, soybeans, whatever it is. All right, now on to what we looked at today. The YM, we did watch the YM this morning. Unfortunately, we didn't have any opportunity in the YM. Let's see. We started the day out right in here. We never had a pullback until way over here. And when we did have the pullback, we had lower highs as it pulled back down to the BBC, so there was no chance we were going to take the long trade in there. All right. It dropped right through the BBC anyway, and eventually moved back up and dropped back through again, but we did not have any opportunity on the YM today, unfortunately. Some days are like that. The ES. Now let's look at the ES here. We were looking to take a long trade on the ES right in here when this started to set up, but then again we had a lower high pivot right in here. And when we had that, we decided that we were not going to take any long trades because that could be a turning point for the market. All right. As it turned out, the market did move up off of that trend line that I had drawn on there. Once it got up above it, it just kept going. And it went right through our weekly trading zone. Again, no trades here on the ES this morning either. We were looking to get long down here originally, but the price action disqualified the trade setup. All right, the NQ, there were a bunch of trade setups on the NQ this morning. There were a few trade setups. Compared to the normal day, there were just a few. There's usually a lot more than this, but let's jump over here, okay? Right in here, we didn't look to take any trades right in here. There was probably an opportunity right here. Actually, that wasn't the best one because it didn't pull away, and up here it pulled the BBC back through. So the next opportunity, I guess there weren't that many opportunities. All right, over here, we had a bullish cross, a test of the BBC with an up close with bullish divergence. Now, when I say divergence, I mean the green line is pulling away from the cycle portion of the slingshot down here, okay? That's what we were looking at right there. So the opportunity to get long would have been right there on the up close. Okay, the next one was right here, shortly afterward. Same thing, pulled back down, tested the BBC, gave an up close, and that was it right there. On the NQ, that was pretty much it for the morning session, guys. There was not that much opportunity on the NQ either. All right, we didn't take any trades there on the NQ. I'll show you the Russell. Now, on the Russell, if you ignored the weekly trading zones, which you see are here, these horizontal lines in black, we had a bullish cross, a test of the BBC with an up close right here with bullish divergence. It did it again right here with bullish divergence, and it did it again right over here with bullish divergence. I know we had at least one person who was in our live trading room this morning who was, she was on the trial, and she took this one right here for some profit. I think she had a few contracts on, took 27 ticks. Anyway, it stayed inside the weekly trading zone throughout the morning session. We never really had another opportunity in the morning session. All right, it's dropped all the way back down to where it started the day now. Okay, so that's where it sits. Not a ton of opportunity in there if you paid attention to the weekly trading zones. Gold. Let's look at gold. This is where we actually did take a trade this morning. There were a few opportunities to trade the gold this morning. Not a ton, not as many as normal, but there were a few. We had the bullish cross, a test to the BBC with an up close with the bullish divergence. You guys hear me say this bullish divergence business all the time. It means the same thing across all the charts. Okay, the bullish divergence means the same thing across all the charts. What you anticipate when you have this bullish divergence is that the green line is going to work its way up into the cycle. Price action is going to make that happen. All right, so price moving in your favor is going to make that happen. That's what you anticipate on every one of these divergence situations. Let's see, the one that I took was over here. We had a bearish cross, a test to the BBC with a down close. We had bearish divergence. You can see right there all that bearish divergence, and what we're anticipating was this green line was going to move down into the cycle when we shorted over here. All right, and it did move down into the cycle, and we actually talked about it right here when this was all happening. We got the divergence. We talked about this moving down like this into the cycle. All right, Jeff, I'll get to your question in just a minute, okay, bud? We had bullish cross right here with a test of the BBC, but it dropped down too far in here for me. I wasn't that interested in this one when it dropped down that far, but it did end up moving up. Okay, we had the bullish divergence, green moving up into the cycle. This one went right through. This one went right through. This one, we had some bearish divergence right here. This would have been a losing trade had you taken it, and this was actually during the break here. This was actually at 12 o'clock. So we didn't take any more trades in here. The only trade we took this morning was right here on the gold. Okay, and we got 5 ticks profit out of that one. Let's see, the one other market that I wanted to cover was crude oil. Let me blow up the crude chart. Crude had a couple of nice opportunities this morning. One pre-market right in here. Then it got really sideways and flat for the first half hour or so. Then it had a couple of opportunities in here. All right, you see we had the bearish divergence down here on the bottom, right there, and bearish divergence again right there. Drop down below the BBC, a test to the BBC with a down close, and what you anticipate is that this green line is going to work its way down into the cycle portion, like it did there and like it did here. Okay, that's what you anticipate. Over here there was a long opportunity right in here. Bullish cross, test to the BBC with an up close for the long opportunity. And that was pretty much it on the morning session, guys. We didn't have a lot of trading opportunities across all 5 or 6 of those markets. And Jeff asks, are there not 2 setups right now? Well, when he asked that about 4 minutes ago on the ES and the YM. Let's go have a look. On the ES, if you ignore the weekly trading zone, then there would have been a setup right here. If you ignore the weekly trading zone, what you would look for on that one is price to close up above this trend line at this point if you ignored the weekly trading zone. Okay, I wouldn't take it because of where the BBC is, the entry with regard to the weekly trading zone. But if you get a close up above, an up close above this trend line right here, then that should open the door to higher prices. Okay, let's jump over here. No, there's nothing short over here on. No, absolutely not short. We just barely, just now, got a cross down below the BBC, and price has not pulled away from the BBC and come back up to it to give us the shorting opportunity yet. Okay, so there's no opportunity for a short over there. Over here on the YM, there is a shorting opportunity. You see price, we got our bearish cross right here. Price pulled away from the BBC and back up to it. So right here on the YM, there is a shorting opportunity. Now this place, that's the trend line right there. So a down close below that trend line should open the door to lower prices, and that we've got that down close already. So we should see this level down here. First this level, then this level, then this level. I'll draw little things on here for you. First that one, then that one, then that one. Those would be the levels to look for on this move down. All right, I wouldn't risk much on it. I never do. But that's what I would look for. Okay, as soon as it closes below that MA1, those are the levels you need to see. Assuming it closes below the MA1. The window of opportunity, of course, is between the BBC and the MA1. It hasn't closed that yet, but it almost always does. Almost. All right. That's it. I am going to stop my recording here now. I think I've answered all the questions, unless anybody else has any more. If you do, just type them in and I just won't put it on the recording. Okay?